What's up, party people? This is your boy Hiroshima the Godfather, aka Hero, and this is my very first Infinity Kingdom video for you guys today. And I thought, what better way to get to know me better than to see how I develop my main march that has just broken over 200k STP. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. As you can see, I'm building Earth as my main march, and has been my main since the beginning of this server. Earth is essentially the counter to water, and is one of the best defenses altogether in the game. Now, that being said, it is quite spendy, but definitely recommended for everyone who spends in the game, from those just looking to build one main march or multiple fully developed marches. Now, I wouldn't suggest building an Earth March without investing in this guy, Charles the Great. As a free-to-play or a light spender, I would better suggest investing in Water, Fire, or a Wind March. Now, Charles the Great is a defensive immortal, and in my opinion, the best immortal in the game. He is, though, only available through the Immortal Pack in the shop, and once summoned can be bought through gems in the market, like I did from 5 stars to the artifact. But this is quite a lengthy process if not completed within the first 30 days of summoning, and I quite don't recommend it. Now, as you can see, Charles the Great has every Earth Elemental Epic Plus equipment, so his base stats are at the highest they could be. His skill, Terra Shield, creates a shield for all units that absorbs damage, absorbing rate up to 400%. And your shield absorption will be increased by an additional 150% for 6 seconds, up to 600%, basically. So, Charles's whole skill is basically reducing and absorbing the damage that the other team provides. Now, I paired this well with Oaken Guard, which is a grace skill. After the battle starts, reduces the physical damage received by 3 random allied units by 45% up to 50% for 18 seconds. This pairs well with Charles and the Earth March altogether, as at least one or both of the front line will have the physical damage reduced up to 50% for the first 18 seconds of the match, giving a lot of sustain in the Earth March. Now, the next skill I paired well with Charles is Shelter, which is an aura skill. It protects all units on the same side within range, with a 50% chance of restoring HP, recovery rate 36% up to 40% if they sustain damage. Now, this is another good skill with Earth, as every time they do take damage, they have a 50% chance to revive a little bit of the damage that they did deal from the other team, essentially giving them more sustain and more healing. Now, the last skill I paired well with Charles the Great is Energy Suppression, which is a grace. It slows the energy regen speed of all the enemy troops by 45% up to 50% for the first 12 seconds of battle. Now, the reason why I put energy suppression on the Earth March is to stop the other enemy team's skills from proccing off so quickly, allowing for my skills to proc before them, and giving Charles the Great the opportunity to cast his absorption. Now, moving on to the next immortal, Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great is an offensive immortal and can be purchased through the daily shop. And once unlocked, you can purchase through gems in the market or continue through dailies. Now, keep in mind, if you do decide to continue through the daily shop, it does require 840 shards to unlock in max, which is equivalent to 42 days of buying pearls, and the equivalent of an additional 6 days, 120 shards to get the artifact unlocked, for a grand total of 48 days. So if you do go and want to unlock Alexander the Great through the daily shop, it does take a complete 48 days to unlock from start to finish. Now, as you can see on my Alexander the Great, he does have all Epic Plus Earth Elemental equipment, so he does have the highest base stats for now. His skill Eternal Conquest, passive, increases normal attack damage by 50%, so basically every time he deals a normal attack, the damage is increased by 50%. His active increases damage dealt by 50%, so any form of damage he deals will have increased damage of 50% when the skill procs, and increases attack speed by 50%, and grants immunity to all controls for 6 seconds, which is crucial, as his attack speed is increasing, which means he's able to deal more normal attacks, which means he's able to deal more damage, and essentially he cannot be stopped as he has immunity to all control for those 6 seconds. So he can just continue attacking. Now, I paired this well with Combo, which I think is one of the best skills with Alexander the Great. It is a passive, every normal attack has a 30% chance of causing extra physical damage, damage rate 225% up to 250 to the target. Now, this completely just shreds the immortal that Alexander the Great is fighting in front of, as his normal attack damage is increased by 50%, as well as the damage he deals is increased by 50%. So when his skill procs off and combo does activate at the same time, there's a possibility to have a 50% more damage, as well as since he has his skill proccing giving him additional attack speed, there's more opportunity for combo to proc, as it's every normal attack there's a 30% chance. More normal attacks dealt, there's higher chances of combo proccing. Now, the next skill I paired well with Alexander the Great is Cleave. It's also another passive skill. Every normal attack has a 75% chance of causing extra physical damage. Damage rate 67.5% up to 75% to 2 nearby enemy units. And this basically it allows Alexander the Great to help Charles the Great deal damage to the mortal that he is attacking, as well as doing some form of damage to the mortal in the back line. Physical damage does deal a lot of damage to the back line, as they do have low physical defense, and this skill synergized well with his active Eternal Conquest, dealing 50% more damage, and his normal attacks deal 50%. Now this skill is allowing his normal attacks to deal damage to 2 other additional immortals. So paired well with his boost, this skill is now dealing damage to 3 immortals instead of just 1. Now, the last skill I paired well with Alexander the Great is Duel Master. It is a passive, and it does have 2 reasons why I put it on Alexander the Great. After the battle starts, increases your physical attack by 45% up to 50%. Now, this is crucial. This physical attack buff, 50%, plus the passive normal attack damage increased by 50%, plus the active increases the damage by 50%. All these 50% buffs added to his normal attacks all synergize well, as now I'm focusing Alexander the Great by doing only damage through normal attacks. Now, the second part of this skill that I really like is it grants immunity to wound. Immunity to wound means his healing cannot be blocked, and I'm going to explain to you that a little further when we get to Zenobia. So, let's take a look at the next immortal, Zenobia. Zenobia, she is a support immortal, and she can be summoned through the VIP 5 chest, and after can be purchased through VIP 6 through 9, and or purchased through the market for purple shards or gems. But I would suggest just sticking to the purple shards as a free-to-play or a light spender, or even a spender. There's no need to spend the gems if it's available for the purple shards. Now, as you can see, she has all Earth Elemental equipment, but does not have the helmet and the Codex as Epic Plus, so she is missing 2 equipment to have her max stats. Her skill, Empress Favor, restores HP, recovery rate 360% to your 2 units with the highest number of troop losses, and the 2 units regain HP recovery rate 120% for 6 seconds with every successful hit with a normal attack. Now, this is crucial, as Charles the Great has a high physical defense plus a high absorption. I'm now trying to keep Alexander the Great as the one of the 2 options with the highest number of troop losses to be able to at least recover half 1 immortal with this skill if we do face a lightning march like Khan or a wind march with Quinn. And because of Duel Master on Alexander the Great, his healing cannot be blocked. Now, so even if we do fight an earth, a lightning or a wind march, I'm depending on her skill to at least heal and recover Alexander the Great. Now, additionally, with every successful normal attack, he's recovering health as well. Now, if his skill is procced and he has a faster attack speed, as we said, he's dealing a lot more attacks faster, he's able to heal much more quickly. Now, the way we do this, I put Assist, which is a triggered skill, on Zenobia. Every 10 seconds after the battle starts, assist 1 random back row allied troop by transferring all of their received damage to you, and reducing the damage you receive by 22.5% up to 25% for 6 seconds. Now, it says a random back row allied troop, but since we put it on Zenobia, which is one of the 2 back row allied troops, it's always and automatically going to transfer the damage from Cleopatra onto Zenobia. Now, because of this, This is going to allow Cleopatra to not sustain any damage, transferring it all to Zenobia, which now is going to have her not being one of the two immortals that require healing. So it's going to put now between Charles, Alex, and Zenobia, and then we have a good chance that Alex in the front line taking the normal attacks will be needing to be healed and having one of the highest troop losses. Now I synergize this well with Lifelink, which is a triggered skill. Every 6 seconds after the battle starts, has a 50% chance of creating a lifelink with 2 enemy units, and they will share your received damage of 45 up to 50% for 6 seconds. Now, I paired this well with Assist. This will transfer up to 50% of the damage that she receives, and she's receiving damage for herself and Cleopatra every 10 seconds. So when this skill does proc and she's taking damage, now two of the enemy units will receive a portion of that damage, transferring the damage that she's taking onto herself and turning it into a form of offensive, damaging the other enemy team. This is reducing the damage that she's taking, as well as giving her a form of offense. Now, the last skill I put on her is Malice, which is an aura skill. Once the battle starts, reduces the crit rate of all enemy units by 18 up to 20%. And I think this is crucial on every Earth March, as when you face any march with high crit, fire, water, lightning, this will significantly reduce the crit rate, which allows you to sustain less damage, which means you're able to last longer. Now, that's all the skills on Zenobia. The last immortal in my Earth March I have is Cleopatra, and I've changed it quite a lot, but I think I've got it worked down with this. Now, as you can see, she has all Earth Elemental equipment, but is just missing the cape for Epic Plus, so she's just missing one equipment off for the max base stats. Her skill, which I love, Entangling Snakes, inflicts magic damage rate up to 300% to all enemies, and reduces the dealt magic damage of 2 enemy targets with the highest magical attack by up to 35% for 6 seconds. This is crucial. Every time she procs her skill, the enemy team's mage has their magic attack reduced up to 35% for those 6 seconds. So if she can cast her skill before they cast their skill, automatically their skill is 35% less strong, which most mages have the skill, as I also have, Concentration, which increases your magic damage of 27% up to 30%. Now, she has a boosted 27% up to 30% magical attack. When her skill procs on the enemy, they're able to reduce their magic attack by 35%. So if they have concentration, it basically dissolves that concentration buff. And if they don't, they're just reducing their magic attack, crippling it even more. Now, the next skill I have on her is Annihilation. It is a triggered skill. Every 6 seconds after the battle starts, has a 45% chance of dealing magic damage factor of 270% up to 300% to all enemy units. This is a great damage dealer, does damage to every immortal, and it goes up to 300%, which is basically the equivalent to her energy skill. So when this does proc, it's basically doing the equivalent of her skill a second time onto the whole enemy team without the damage reducing factor. Now, how do I guarantee that Cleopatra will proc her skill off? Well, I put Fighting Master, which in my opinion comes with 2 good bonuses. The first, it gives you immunity to control, which prevents the enemy team from stunning her or silencing her from proccing her skill, which is what we need to reduce the magic attack of the enemy team. And it reduces the damage you receive by 13.5 up to 15% in battles, which synergized with Zenobia's Assist, who's tanking all of the damage from Cleopatra. The damage is reduced by up to 15% on Cleopatra before it's transferred onto Zenobia, which means that Zenobia is taking less damage. Now, all that put together, now this is my 200k Earth March and the breakdown as to why I put the skills where I put them. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for watching.